Journey back in time to the mid-20th century, a tumultuous era that bore witness to one of the most devastating conflicts in human history, the Chinese Civil War. In the early 1900s, China was a nation in turmoil. The Qing dynasty had fallen, leaving a power vacuum. The Republic of China was established, but it was a time of warlords and factionalism. Society was fragmented, and the people were yearning for unity and stability. In this climate of uncertainty, two major political forces emerged: the Nationalist Party, or the KMT, and the Communist Party, or the CPC. The KMT, led by Chiang Kai-shek, aimed to unify China under a single centralized government. They sought to modernize the country, drawing inspiration from Western democracies. On the other hand, the CPC, led by Mao Zedong, championed the cause of the peasantry and the workers. They envisioned a socialist China, governed by the principles of Marxism-Leninism. These two parties initially formed an uneasy alliance to fend off foreign influences and warlords, creating what's known as the First United Front. However, ideological differences were hard to reconcile, and external influences played a significant role in fanning the flames of conflict. The Soviet Union, a beacon of communism, supported the CPC, while Western powers, particularly the United States, lined up behind the KMT. These international players not only provided financial and military aid, but also exerted ideological influence, further stoking tensions between the KMT and the CPC. This set the stage for the Chinese Civil War, a brutal, protracted conflict that saw brother pitted against brother, ideology against ideology. It was a war that would not only decide the fate of China, but also send ripples across the globe, influencing the course of the Cold War and shaping the world as we know it today. As the world watched, two ideologies clashed in a battle that would shape China's future. The year 1927 marked the onset of hostilities, with the nationalists initiating the Shanghai Massacre, which targeted communists. As we delve into the origins of the Chinese Civil War, we find ourselves in the bustling city of Shanghai in April of 1927. The Nationalist Party, also known as the Kuomintang, led by Chiang Kai-shek, launched a brutal campaign against their former allies, the Communists. This event, known as the Shanghai Massacre, was a pivotal moment that officially ignited the flames of the Civil War. Thousands of communists were either arrested or killed, signifying a brutal start to the conflict. This hostile act, however, did not exterminate the communist movement. Rather, it galvanized it. In the aftermath of the massacre, the communists regrouped under the leadership of charismatic figures like Zhou Enlai and Mao Zedong, who were determined to resist nationalist aggression. They formed the Red Army, a guerrilla force committed to the communist cause. For the Red Army, the struggle was not just against the nationalists. They also had to contend with the harsh realities of life in a war-torn country. The Long March, a strategic retreat undertaken by the Red Army in 1934, stands out as a testament to their endurance. Over 1 year and thousands of miles, they navigated treacherous mountains, crossed raging rivers, and survived enemy attacks. Their journey, though fraught with hardship, was also a symbol of their resilience and unwavering commitment to their cause. These events, the Shanghai Massacre, the formation of the Red Army, and the Long March, marked the onset of a conflict that would shape the course of Chinese history. They were the first steps in a war that would last for more than 2 decades, causing immense suffering and loss. Despite their hardships, the communists remained undeterred, their resolve setting the stage for the battles to come. By 1945, the war had reached its crescendo, with both sides vying for control over China. At the heart of this tumultuous period were 3 pivotal campaigns that would forever alter the course of Chinese history: the Liaoshen Campaign, the Pingjin Campaign, and the Huaihai Campaign. The Liaoshen Campaign, which unfolded from the late summer of 1948 into the early winter, was the first of these major offensives. This was a strategic masterstroke by the People's Liberation Army, aimed at severing the connection between nationalist forces in Manchuria and those in the rest of China. Over a period of 3 long months, the Liberation Army, under the command of Lin Biao, outmaneuvered and overpowered the Nationalist Army, effectively securing control of Manchuria. This victory set the stage for the subsequent Pingjin Campaign, a brutal 7-month-long siege of the cities of Beiping, now known as Beijing, and Tianjin. the People's Liberation Army, exploiting the momentum from their success in the Liaoshen campaign, encircled and then crushed the nationalist forces, capturing two of China's most important cities. And then, there was the Huaihai campaign, arguably the most decisive campaign of the Chinese Civil War. The nationalists, under the command of Chiang Kai-shek, were dealt a crushing blow as they lost more than 500,000 troops in this battle. This catastrophic defeat marked the beginning of the end for the nationalist government. These campaigns were not just about gaining territory. They were about demonstrating the strength and effectiveness of the People's Liberation Army and about undermining the nationalist government's claim to legitimacy. They showcased the strategic acumen and military prowess of the communist forces, and they played a crucial role in swaying public opinion in their favor. The tide of war had turned, and China would never be the same. In 1949, the war reached its conclusion, culminating in the establishment of the People's Republic of China. This was a monumental turning point, not just for China, but for the world at large. The Chinese Communist Party, under the leadership of Mao Zedong, emerged victorious, forever altering the fabric of Chinese society and its place on the global stage. As the dust settled on the battlefield, the defeated nationalists, under Chiang Kai-shek, embarked on a mass exodus to the island of Taiwan. Here, they set up their own government, with Taipei as its capital, creating a separate political entity that exists to this day. This marked the beginning of a complex and contentious relationship between mainland China and Taiwan, a saga that continues to unfold and shape international relations. The establishment of the People's Republic ushered in a new era of radical social and economic transformations. Land was redistributed from the wealthy landlords to the poor peasants. Literacy campaigns were launched, and women were granted equal rights. These changes laid the foundation for the China we know today, a global powerhouse with a rapidly growing economy. But the war's aftermath was not without its challenges. The loss of millions of lives left deep scars that took generations to heal. The political and ideological shifts led to periods of intense struggle and upheaval, most notably the Cultural Revolution, which further tested the resilience of the Chinese people. Yet, the impact of the Chinese Civil War extended far beyond China's borders. It played a pivotal role in the dynamics of the Cold War, influencing the balance of power between the East and the West. The war also prompted a reassessment of foreign policies, leading to significant geopolitical shifts. The Chinese Civil War left an indelible mark on history, shaping the course of China and the world for decades to come. The Chinese Civil War, a conflict that claimed millions of lives, serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of ideological battles. This brutal conflict, stretching over 2 decades, was a crucible in which modern China was forged, and its echoes continue to reverberate in the present day. We've journeyed through the historical context of the Chinese Civil War, tracing its roots back to the ideological divide between the nationalists and the communists. A divide that, fueled by foreign influences and internal power struggles, ignited a war that would forever change the landscape of China. We've revisited the onset of hostilities, a time of shifting alliances and escalating tensions. We've walked through the dark days of the war's height, marked by bloody battles, sweeping social changes, and untold human suffering. And we've surveyed the aftermath of this tumultuous period, its impact resonating not just within the borders of China, but rippling out to touch the world. The Chinese Civil War was not just a clash of armies, but a clash of ideologies, of visions for China's future. It reshaped the nation's identity, and its effects are still visible today in the form of a divided China. The People's Republic of China on the mainland, and the Republic of China on the island of Taiwan. The war also served as a key chapter in the larger narrative of the Cold War, underlining the global dimensions of this conflict. It highlighted the destructive potential of ideological warfare, a lesson that remains as relevant today as it was then. As we reflect on this chapter of history, we gain a deeper understanding of the world we live in today. History is not just about the past, but also a beacon illuminating our path into the future. By examining the Chinese Civil War, we not only remember the lives lost and the sacrifices made, but we also learn valuable lessons about the costs of division and the power of unity. In the end, history is our teacher, and the Chinese Civil War is a lesson we cannot afford to forget. As we move forward, Let's strive to remember the past, understand the present, and shape a better future. As we reflect on this chapter of history, we gain a deeper understanding of the world we live in today. History is not just about the past, but also a beacon illuminating our path into the future.